The XDEFIANT server playtest beta went live this weekend, and we got to play it and stream it here a lot. There are a lot of good things about it that I got to take away from that, but is the game ready to go live? We're going to be talking about the good and bad, but make sure first you guys follow the account. We got videos on XDEFIANT down below, and we're going to have them moving forward until the game comes out. Let's get into it. So first things first, I think that XDEFIANT had an incredibly successful server playtest beta weekend, whatever you want to call it, right? We're supposed to get it from 1 p.m. Eastern Friday to 1 p.m. Eastern Sunday, but Mark Rubin and Nadeshot tweeted each other or whatever, and they got an extension for 6 hours because Nadeshot, I guess, which is dope. Honestly, it was going so well that I half expected them to keep extending it indefinitely. Maybe that was just my excitement for the game, but it did not. 6 hours later, it went away, and this is supposed to be the final beta test before the game comes out. That could mean very soon. It was supposed to come out, and then they kind of delayed it again. But again, the last beta was last summer, so it could like be a year, who knows. That being said, I think it's really good. The gunplay felt good, the maps felt good, the movement. I had a video on controller settings. The defaults are terrible, but once you change the settings to get your movement and your aim correct, it actually feels really good. And I'm glad we found those settings early, so maybe save that video for when the full game comes out. If the settings are the same, again, the defaults were terrible. Also, progression and accolades and stuff like that felt really good. Some of the operators felt really strong, and they're aware of some of those things, and balancing with guns and operators and stuff like that, the factions, I mean, that will happen over time. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that, but the life stim faction is incredible. Okay, so here's some of the issues that arise during this playtest over the weekend, and some things that I think they're going to need to address immediately moving forward for this game to work. First, and by far, the foremost issue on this, I think, is the netcode and the server stability. Again, that's what the playtest was for this weekend, and they needed it. I can't tell you how many times I was dying around walls, or just like took off running 40 feet and then blipped back and died, or how many times my bullets just weren't registering. It felt like I died in one shot, and it took me 100 mags to kill somebody else. It's, you know, the difference in server ping and lag and stuff that happens with online, you know, we see that in Call of Duty and other first-person shooters, anything like that, right? I think where the problem is where things that just didn't happen or don't exist come into play. When you fire off bullets around a corner and just you get a guy, or if you're completely disengaged from a fight and then all of a sudden you're dead from something that happened 10 seconds ago. That is a major issue, and believe me, that happened the entire weekend throughout. Admittedly, I think it was a little bit worse to start. Maybe that was just from my experience. I think it was a little bit worse on Friday and a little bit on Saturday, and by the end of the day, Saturday and Sunday, I wasn't noticing it as much. Again, that could have just been luck, so who knows, but they're aware of this issue. They're taking clips from people to try to address specific problems. That's good. The developer really wants to fix the problem. I think that is important, and a lot of my good feelings for this game come from the developer sentiment, but as of right now, in the current state of the game, that's a problem, and we're gonna have to work that going forward. Again, I don't think it's game breaking. I could have seen, like I said, this game just staying live. Maybe it's my excitement for the game, but I really thought it was playable. That's gonna have to be addressed moving forward now that the beta is done. We had another error at the beginning of the weekend. On Friday, there was this glitch where the invisible ghillie suit faction like just stayed invisible when they started shooting. It was like straight up 100% invisibility, not all the time, sometimes, which is just stupid. So they ended up disabling that, and they're aware of that issue and will be addressing it moving forward. But yeah, really, that's like my biggest gripe with the game. Like, the guns feel good, the maps play good, the movement feels good, everything about the menus being simple is amazing, but the netcode is like notably kind of spaghetti. So we'll see how they fix that moving forward. I hope it is at least better. Again, I would be willing to play a game where that happened sometimes and it got less frequent as we go along than not play at all and then hope it's 100% fixed later. Maybe that's just me. All right, and lastly, we're gonna talk about the lack of skill-based matchmaking because this is kind of a hot topic. So for me, my experience this weekend was incredible. I had great games. It really felt like nostalgic old Call of Duty. I was top of the lobby, but I am an experienced first-person shooter player. And I realized that Call of Duty for a lot of people is very casual, and this game being sort of a parallel to Call of Duty, it's not a COD killer. That's not gonna happen. Call of Duty is still gonna be its own thing, but I think it's the same audience. for now. I think that skill-based matchmaking is something that a lot of people are going to miss that want to play this game casually. I think this game is going to be great, whatever competitive thing they do with it. I really want to feel that. I want to experience the competitiveness for it personally. But for everybody who wants to play the game casually, grind out camos, challenges, stuff like that, I could see that maybe being a little bit of a problem. I wouldn't entirely mind some light skill-based matchmaking. There is a input only option queue or a platform based queue, so like you only play with PlayStation people or controller people or PC people, you know what I'm saying? And that is some form of filtering. Like I said, I wouldn't mind a little bit of skill-based matchmaking. They're gonna have to figure out a skill-based matchmaking system if they have a good ranked playlist, and I'm telling you guys that's what this game needs. If it has a banger ranked playlist, full send. You know what I'm saying? If it has a banger ranked playlist, they're gonna have a good skill-based matchmaking system, so maybe they can implement it lightly, and that would help the entire player base. Again, I don't want to, you know, there's a lot of problems with Call of Duty's system, so it's a tough road to walk. But from my experience this weekend, the lack of skill-based matchmaking, opposed to all the Call of Duty I've been playing, it felt really good. It was fun. It was a fun little break, but we'll see how that is addressed moving forward and how the community sentiment on that is. But guys, I think they're making a good game. I think the developers care a lot about it. They're trying to fix the problems. I hope it's not a perfectionism sort of thing. Like, I hope they don't feel like they can never release it until everything's perfect, because every time they test it, there are problems. There are going to be problems. Look at Call of Duty. It's a mess, but millions of people play it every day. So if they can just get this netcode thing dialed in a little bit, even if it's not perfect, it's a glaring issue at the moment. The game still felt fun, so if they can figure that out, guys, I think this was an incredibly successful test weekend for them. Let me know your thoughts down below. What was your favorite gun, map, faction? I think, like I said, the stim healing thing is going to be really good. They're going to tweak those later at some point. But let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Do you agree, disagree with anything that I said? Did you have a problem I didn't mention? Is there something great about the game you like that I didn't talk about? Let me know down below, guys. Make sure you follow the account to join the community, like I said. And thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.